Live. Hey, it says that I'm live. That's good. All right, cool.
Okay, so Facebook should be notifying me that you're live.
Do you
There
follow?
it is.
Okay, cool. I was like, I know a lot of my friends don't follow my professional page yet, and I haven't gone through to like invite every single person I know to follow my professional page. So
Thing is, clicking a little pop-up that tells you that actually like notifies me that you're live doesn't do anything. I have to go to the notification pull down and click on that to get it to come up.
oh, that's annoying. All right, so I've got one viewer. Is that you?
That would be me.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Sarah.
All right. So this is my painting that I'm going to be working on today. How's the layout look here? I feel like I need more light in here, but I don't know. I don't have any other lights I can put on me right now, so.
I like it actually.
Okay.
I think it looks good. I'm also kind of amused that that you're muted on Facebook, but I'm hearing you over Discord.
Right, exactly.
If I unmuted you, then I'd hear you twice.
Yeah.
Out of sync with each other because
Right.
what I'm hearing is actually ahead of what I'm seeing.
Oh, funny. Okay, all right. I think I did make a point of putting in the Discord that anybody who's watching me on Facebook should mute. That way it doesn't get weird.
Yeah.
That
If
makes
you're
sense.
in Discord, yeah.
Oh, hey, somebody else is here.
Yep.
It's me,
Hello.
Dan. Yay!
Fire Rim.
Yes. That's
Alright.
my screen name.
So when
Oh.
1 o'clock rolls around, I'll do like
Okay.
a formal introduction to what I'm doing today, and then, yeah, all right.
I just worked out who you are.
My screen name is fairly consistent across platforms, so it
Interesting.
is. I am not hard to find.
Right.
I guess the only other place I found you online is on Facebook, and it's not the same there.
I mean,
Your user icon is though, right?
uh,
Oh, you're louder.
not on Facebook, no.
Oh, okay.
But my @ name is the same.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Your @ name. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You could like Facebook is still tends to be pretty strict about making sure people use their real names.
Invariably, but yes.
Yeah. Depends on whether or not they catch you.
Depends on whether someone reports you mostly.
I think yeah, you're probably right. So my hand's shaking a little bit because I've never done this before, and so I'm a little nervous.
Aww.
It's okay, I'll be fine. I got 2 people. Is it you guys?
I am on Facebook thing as well.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't actually see that anyone else is watching.
No, I see an eyeball and then the number 2 next
Yeah,
to it, which means
exactly.
it's you two.
Yeah, I can see that now, but when I've done my own broadcast from my laptop, I haven't been able to see that, so I don't even know if anybody's watching.
Well, so I'm using it on my phone, not my laptop, so I imagine that the interface can be a little different from each.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, frankly, it's a Facebook interface, so it's not good.
Yeah.
But
That's my hair. Here we go. That's great.
It's-
All right.
it's sometimes usable.
Yeah, I had no idea how it would look from my end, so. All right. So, welcome to my live stream paint today. I have 2 paintings that I have done sketches for lately. I found myself being like, you know what? I just need to paint more pictures of people and flowing fabric. And so, as you can see, I've got a person in a flowing fabric. And then the other one I'm in the process of working on is me with some flowing fabric. Ta-da! I got to use, Fanula gave me some canvases a while back, and I will have one of them mocked up on that. So thank you, Fanula, if you end up watching this at some point. For those of you tuning in who are not already here and who tune in later to watch this not live, you'll hear people talking in the background. Those are some friends who I have enlisted to chat with me today because I feel weird just talking into the void and having to look over at my screen all the time. So this way I can ignore the screen and just keep talking to friends. Ta-da! So far I have Mark and B-Dan, and Mark is building Legos.
But not broadcasting.
But not broadcasting. You could be.
Good.
B-Dan, are you cleaning today?
Yes. Well, in theory, not quite at the moment, because I have you loaded up on my computer,
Yeah.
which is so that I could potentially clean my office.
You could. I already have paint on my hands. Woo.
Seems like a good start.
Yeah, you know.
Eventually, you'll want to get some on canvas.
Right. I'm going. I swear I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to try. I haven't. Sometimes I just try out new techniques every now and then, and see how they go. Oh, good. This is sort of working. I had a little bit. Oh, fuck, it's I had a little bit of concern that the solvent in my mixture here is gonna take away a bunch of my lines. I like being able to do this, but I haven't found a perfect thing to draw my lines with yet that won't disappear.
Yeah.
This isn't too bad. I think I just need to make sure I don't put too much solvent in, and then I'll probably be okay. Yeah, they're sticking around if I keep the solvent level low. I like to tone my canvases ahead of time for a couple of reasons. One, it's a nice sort of a base that I can work into wet on wet a little bit, but also I find that if I just start putting paint down, especially if I'm working on canvas, you end up with like a lot of little specks where the canvas shows through if your paint isn't like thin enough to get into the crevices, and then you see them at the end. So this gets rid of the little white dots you would get. That's because I paint pretty thin. Some people paint really crazy thick, and that is not me.
Well, Kirk, now that you started, I'm conflicted about watching you versus working on my point project.
Well, keep in mind I'm going to be working fairly slow, so like, all you hardly have to do is just look over every now and then.
What I'm doing.
Later you can do the time-lapse version and
Well,
all in a...
will Facebook output a time-lapse version?
I don't think Facebook will output it, but I assume that you could download it and post-process it
Okay.
to a time-lapse.
I'll have to look into how to do that. Like my phone has its own time-lapse video capture thing itself, but I don't have any. I haven't downloaded any video editing software for my computer yet to do any post-processing.
Yeah, like if you turn a regular video into a time-lapse, it won't be quite as high quality as if you're taking stills and turning them into a time-lapse, because it'll be lower resolution generally.
Right.
But if you just like take a fraction of the frames, it will certainly work.
There was one
Like a sped up video, basically.
Lego build where I was both doing the Facebook Live broadcast from the laptop and set up my DSLR basically behind me
Ooh,
to take time lapse.
fancy.
I haven't gotten around to taking those 8,000 or 10,000 whatever his photos and turn them into a video yet.
I need to look into what video editing software is also good for my phone, because every once in a while I take videos that I want to like crop down and or remove the sound from. And I assume there's just something I can download to do that with. I just haven't read all the reviews yet.
A lot of the free ones tend to be limited
Yeah, but I'm not
But-
trying to do anything super fancy. I mean,
Yeah, well, it's sort of limited in like how long a video you can do
oh, okay.
with them.
Usually
So,
it's
like-
just like, a clip of my cat sleeping or something that I just want to remove whatever I have in
Right.
the
Yeah.
background.
If there's like short clips,
Yeah.
then oftentimes the free ones can do it. If it's like they'll often have like you can't make a video more than like 5 minutes or
Oh, yeah.
10 minutes or 1 minute, depending on what they set the paywall at, basically.
Oh, I was going to say the other nice thing about toning your canvas ahead of time is then when that color does peek through in those random locations, it's not jarring because it's not white, and it's more unifying because it's, I'll get a little bit of this green poking through in lots of places. Unifying. My husband's watching me. I wonder if he knows what. I didn't know it would tell me who's watching. That's cool. Hi, honey. Aren't you supposed to be working? I told myself I wouldn't keep looking at the screen. I just can't help my curiosity. It's distracting. That's why I have you guys here.
No one has commented yet. including
I know.
Steven.
That's because this is only you three on. I honestly, I have no idea if anybody else will even show. Like, people hit thumbs up on it, and like, I don't know, I feel like lots of people say they enjoy watching live streams, and like, big name artists definitely post live streams a lot, so I'm like, alright, well, I mean, I've definitely had people tell me that they like watching, like, why they like watching the time lapse, or that they like seeing my process, so, maybe
Yeah.
some people will like this.
And like, the way Facebook works, it's often hard to notice that a live thing is happening
Right.
until it's underway. So
That's true, yes.
you'll get like people filtering in over the next hour or something as they glance at Facebook and it's like, oh, Sarah Morrison is live.
Right. Actually, I think also if I had to guess, Steven's sound was probably off when he was here anyway, because I think he can't have sound on if he's watching videos at work.
Oh yeah, he's not here anymore, is he?
Yeah, he probably just peeked in because he was like, oh yay. All right, I got some tone down. What am I doing now? I don't even know. All right, let's see. And then when I do this, I can basically use my rag to pull out highlights where I want them. So Mark, are you planning to get the piano set and the Mario set and all the other cool stuff that's been coming out? Oh no, I might have lost Mark.
I think he's still
Well,
on.
he's in it, but his voice stopped working on it earlier, so
Yeah.
it's possible that either
Oh, okay.
his
So
audio isn't
yeah.
working or he might have left the room for a sec also.
Right, all is possible.
Yeah, when I logged in earlier today, he could hear me, but I couldn't hear him.
Uh,
I hear a voice entering. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo,
Hello again.
doo-doo. Welcome back.
So what happened was my screen blanked.
Ah.
Confused me because I could still hear you. And then when I brought it back up again, the sound connected to the Facebook Live broadcast.
Oh,
so I
funny.
did it twice.
Huh.
Like you
That's
couldn't hear
awkward.
me anymore.
Right. So complicated. Well, see, the nice thing, sometimes what I'll specifically do is I have videos playing in the background that I'm not watching, but that I'm listening to, because then it will make my screen not turn off, because I use my screen for my image references, and otherwise I have to keep moving my mouse all the time.
Yeah, one thing I found as I've done some broadcasting while listening to and singing along with music, and then often what happens is at some point, usually like a week or two later or something like that, Facebook will notify me that
Oh.
my video contains copyrighted material.
Yep.
And, you know,
yep.
do you want to partially mute it or do you want to post it, differently, whatever. So
That makes sense.
it goes on wrong.
I've been watching a lot of feeds of people playing video games, and
Okay.
in a lot of them that will actually happen too, because some of the audio in the video game is copyright,
Right.
and then like on Twitch, for example, and then so like a huge chunk of the audio will just be gone.
Kara says hi on Facebook.
Yay! Hi, Carolyn. Welcome to my painting. Actually, I'd also discovered that I went to go back to listen to Zero's Dark Knight one time.
Dark mode?
Yeah, Dark Mode. I went to go back to listen to it to find out what one of the songs was, and also encountered that a huge chunk had been muted because it was copyrighted
On
Twitch.
Okay, on
Yeah.
Twitter. I wasn't sure if Twitch did that
Yeah, Twitch
also,
did.
but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that surprised me about Facebook's partial muting is it seemed to do a very good job of making the music very hard to hear while leaving everything else very audible. So you hear me singing, and very faintly in the background you hear what I'm singing along to.
I wonder if it was picking up on the you singing even and realizing that was copyright. Like, you should try to do one with, like, just put the audio in your headphones or something, and then just sing and see if it still flags you.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm guessing that they like pick up on the specific recording, and so they already have the recording that they know is copyrighted,
Oh, okay.
so they can therefore pull it out fairly easily.
All right.
I would hope so, because also that would mean that you couldn't, like, cover anything.
I mean, covering stuff is complicated. Like, technically you're supposed to license it, although it's a automatic license generally, and it's fairly cheap.
Sure, but that's different from, like, copyright violation, which is, I think, what they're really trying to address.
Let's see. FBI warning of doom. Keep looking over at my reference. There we go.
It's almost like a whirlpool of green currently.
Yes. Well, so one of the things, yeah, it's gonna be fabric, but it's gonna have a little bit of, gonna look like waves a little bit, and I will probably end up doing a computer edited version where I try to actually make the ripples in the fabric look like waves.
Okay.
That'll be cool.
I'm just exporting another reference file. There we go. That'll be easier. I also don't usually work this big, so I'm a little still intimidated by it, kind of. I've been doing paintings that are like 12 by 18 and smaller, and this one's 24 by 24.
Ah.
I think I like this brush. Oh, hey, my dad's watching. Hi, Dad. And I'll reiterate for anybody watching, if they have any questions, to post them in the comments. The other thing about working on a piece with this many lines in it is like, I keep looking down at my reference and I'm like, wait, which fabric fold am I even looking at right now? Is it that one or that one? I need to make more landmarks.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this is a problem with like fabric folds in general.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not something I encounter when I'm like painting a face. I'm like, well, which eyeball am I painting? I don't know.
You could paint a very wrinkly face, then you'd have the same problem.
Potentially, yes.
Can you still hear me? I guess you
Yeah.
probably can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does your icon light up for you when your mic's not working properly, or?
It does when I start talking, but not otherwise.
Okay.
I changed something on my end, and I just want to make sure you still hear me.
Yeah, that makes sense. That one goes here. Oh, I've got Fanula too. Hi, Fanula. Where's that one go? Where's that one? in my mind, I thought people would end up having more questions for me that I'd be able to talk about.
You could just start explaining things, and you've already done a bunch of that, but you could explain more things.
Well, I pre-mixed some colors, which was useful. And you can see my palette, which is right down here. Sort of, because, I don't know, in my view, it's being covered up by all the text, so who knows.
Mostly you are in front of it right now.
Well, true. And it's poorly lit.
Now you can see it.
I do like to pre-mix little puddles of color, but I will definitely end up mixing more. But I don't have any problem remixing the same color. I've been color mixing for a long time, so it's not that big a deal. And it's also not that big a deal if it doesn't end up being exactly the same color, because, you know, this is all still the underpainting, and actually it would look pretty static if it really was all the same color exactly anyway. And with a little variation, it kind of helps.
So having just watched some Bob Ross the other day, what pigments are you using?
Oh, what pigments am I using? Primarily sap green, specifically the Blick sap green, which I really like. The Utrecht burnt sienna, and ultramarine blue, and titanium white. And honestly, that's it right now. I will probably do the majority of the painting with those. I do have some purple that's going to go in it later, so I'll probably break out the quinacridone violet.
Cool.
Yay! I don't have any phthalo blue, sorry. I do love phthalo blue, but I almost never use it because it's like incredibly overpowering and you have to use it in such minute quantities. I probably will, I don't know, I might break it out for someone because there's some nice blues and greens in this, so I might glaze it in certain areas to make some colors pop, but I don't actually find myself using it that often. Yeah, I do put a lot of stuff with just burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, and white. Because the burnt sienna and the ultramarine blue will actually make a really nice black. I can do an entire grayscale painting, or I can tip it one way or another, make it a little bit warmer by having more burnt sienna, or make it a little bit cooler by having more ultramarine blue. A lot of art schools teach you not to use black straight out of the tube, or not really not to use black at all anyway. It tends to really kill colors. You lose a lot of the color depth. It just grays them out a lot. That using what's called chromatic black, or some other mixture to make your black, or using, you know, a complementary color keeps it more vibrant, more interesting. Now my brushes are getting in the way. I don't usually use such big paintbrushes because I'm usually working a lot smaller, and so I've got this little guard here to keep my brushes from touching the canvas, and it's at a perfect height for if I'm painting a little bit smaller. There we go. Now I'll stop hitting my brushes with my other brushes. We've got Linda and Henry. For those of you just tuning in, welcome to my live paint. I've got a couple of friends hanging out in the background, chatting with me occasionally, so that I'm not just standing here talking to the void.
When you said a second ago, I got Linda and Henry. My brain just I got brought back to as a kid watching Romper Room.
That was brought up recently. Somebody referenced something that made me remember Romper Room.
It was so long when okay.
I don't remember much about the show except that I liked it and I watched it all the time.
I showed this sort of magic looking glass thing, which is basically
Yeah,
a
yeah.
magnifying glass. You look through it and greet the virtual kids tuning in from home.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
That sounds about right. I wasn't sure. The other thing is that I remember the Looking Glass, but I couldn't remember which show it was from. Because
Oh, yeah.
it could have been Romper Room. It could have been. I'm trying to remember because there was another one that came out like right after that, like right around when I was aging out of watching that style of show, and it was Big Comfy Chair. And so
yeah.
I don't know if she had one of those too.
That was a bit more recent than my. So Romper Room was on for a long time then.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible I was only watching reruns anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Big Comfy Chair is closer to my kids' era than to mine.
It was new when I was aging out of that group, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday, one of my Facebook friends, who I know from, posted a page from July something 1978 TV guide, and boy did that bring me back. Just looking at all the shows I used to watch.
Yeah, I used to watch shows. I don't really now, except for like watching Farscape with Sarah.
I still watch a good amount of shows, but in part that's because sometimes I just have them on in the background when I'm not really watching them.
I'm finally getting around to watching Xena for the first time.
Oh, I should do that. I actually never watched it either.
I watched some of it. It was good. I certainly haven't seen all of it.
It was good? Okay. Because the entire first season, I'm like, I hope this gets better.
Well, okay, so good is a relative
Okay.
term. It's
Also, the
enjoyable.
first seasons are never the best, and somehow shows get renewed anyway. Thankfully, like the first season of Buffy isn't all that good, but Buffy's amazing. The first season of Star Trek TNG has definitely got some issues, but still love that show.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just found the first season of Xena to be just. I was laughing at it more than I was enjoying it. I don't remember that being the case for Buffy. I think it has a bit more redeeming quality earlier on.
There were still some not good bits in the first season.
Right, but there was like almost no good bits in Xena in the first season.
Oh. I've been rewatching Reboot in the background sometimes. Do either of you two remember Reboot?
I do. Not very well. I didn't watch a huge amount of it.
Oh, I
but
loved it. It was awesome. It's just so silly and nerdy. This is so not as stable as it could be. Oh, I heard a join on my Discord.
Okay, you lost me for a bit. 'Cause,
Oh, okay.
Again, the stream blank. I was asking, what is Reboot? I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, it's a 3D animated cartoon, and it's about the entities that live inside your computer, and so the user will sometimes insert a game, and then the information that lives inside the computer will get sucked into the game, and they have to fight against the user to survive, because if the user beats the game, then they'll die basically, or get nullified.
Okay.
And the characters are like, there's Dot Matrix,
Of course.
and Hexadecimal and Megabyte, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the great. It's very silly.
Okay.
And every once in a while there'd be Megabyte's a computer virus actually, and he's one of the bad guys.
Okay.
Henry says Reboot was awesome.
Reboot was awesome. It still is awesome, I should say. As I said, I've been rewatching it. I just got up to the point where Enzo's friend just entered. What's her name? I've already forgotten her name. At one point, Enzo's playing a game and falls in love, sort of, falls in friendship because he's young with one of the game sprites, and she's able to like hitch a ride on him when he exits the game. Andrea, that's her name. And whenever Enzo sees anything cool, his exclamation is alphanumeric.
Well, I failed to notice that.
What did you fail to notice? Something with the Lego?
Yeah. 8 pages ago, I started building something, and I was supposed to be building 2 of something.
Oh.
It's fine.
Okay.
I just usually build them in parallel rather than one and then the other.
Right. This makes sense.
And when it's 8 pages, it's like, oh, I didn't mean to do it that way. Usually the second time goes quicker, though.
That's good.
True. Probably not what you're doing.
Either that or you're more likely to mess up because you're just overconfident. You're like, I know how to do this.
I don't think I've seen that's been true. I'm not sure.
Let's see that.
so glad I bought that air conditioner.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you did too.
I say that because I'm feeling a little warm, even though the air conditioner's on. Of course, it's on in a different room than I'm sitting in. But,
Yeah.
you know, I have windows open, doors open between the rooms.
Yeah, I similarly have the air conditioner on in a different room and not the air conditioner on in this room because the air conditioner in this room is rather loud when I'm in the same room as it.
Yeah, I turned mine off because I didn't want it to be on during the making noise in the background of the stream.
Right.
And I'm getting a little warm, actually, since it's kind of a warm day out. I might change into a tank top.
Well, the air conditioner in this room doesn't exist.
You could get fans. I use fans to just move. Like, we don't have an air conditioner in our bedroom, and we just put a fan in the hall and guide the air around.
Yeah, I do that sometimes too.
All right, I think I need to mix more of this color so I have more. Let's see.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever owned an air conditioner.
Which I just think is crazy.
A lot of people seem to, yeah. I mean, most of my life I've been able to, well, I mean, at one point my parents bought an air conditioner while I was still growing up, so I didn't not have one for a few years there. Did we not have one? Oh, anyway. But yeah, generally I've been able to bear the worst of the heat by opening windows at night and closing them in the morning.
Yeah, ditto. We actually can get away with that in our apartment a lot of the time.
That's certainly what I do when it's a bit cooler out, but when it's warm enough that it doesn't really cool down at night, it doesn't work so well.
Well, I've also been able to like tolerate fairly warm temperatures for a lot of my life too, but after last fall's heart attack, I'm being a little more cautious.
That seems wise.
Yeah. I generally like colder weather rather than warmer weather. I'd rather put a sweater on than just be sweltering. One of the problems with keeping our windows open too much, though, is that our apartment attracts a lot of moisture. And so I end up having to get a dehumidifier. Like, we use a humidifier in the winter, and we have to use a dehumidifier now in the summer, because the humidity in here will get up above 80.
Oh, yeah.
But the dehumidifier, of course, puts out a lot of heat, which I then need to compensate by running the air conditioner.
I'm surprised the air conditioner doesn't take out enough humidity by itself.
Well, it's a trade-off. It's like, say if I left the window open at one point and then more humidity got in, and yeah, it's like if we just kept the windows closed more often and just ran the air conditioner, we'd probably end up having a lot less moisture in the apartment. But we like to have fresh air every now and then.
Yeah, that's true. Does your air conditioner have a vent option, or is it one of the kind that doesn't let you pick?
I think it has a vent option, but like, why use that when I could just open the window?
Well, I guess, like, specifically mine has an option to, like, pull air as it's air conditioning in from the outside versus...
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that control on mine too.
I mean, is it not doing that when it's running regularly?
It depends on the air conditioner. Like, some of them will just only recirculate inside air.
I didn't realize that. I kind of always assumed air conditioners were pulling in air from the outside, and...
Yeah, no, it's variable. And like, it's, if you think about it, it is if it's hot enough outside, it's more efficient to keep recooling the air that's inside that's already closer to the temperature you're trying to get it to.
True.
But that means you also don't get fresh air. I mean, you get some fresh air because, like, it's a building that's not going to be perfectly sealed.
Right.
But you don't get as much.
I want to one day buy back the building that my dad designed and built, the house, I should say, in North Hoosick. He did a super insulated house.
Oh, cool.
And the heat down and close the doors. And save on heating costs for it.
I wonder if you cut out in the middle there, because you said one thing and then I didn't hear you for a while, and you said close the door.
Oh, I guess I probably did then. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they ended up. It was efficient enough that there was always like a, when it was outside of comfortable range anyway, it was always at least like a 10-degree temperature difference between inside and outside without air conditioning or before the heat was needed. So he once told me he estimated that his annual cost for heating was about $500.
That's pretty good.
In New England.
Yep. I mean, I think my annual cost for heating is not much more than that, but I'm also in an apartment that's only one floor of a house.
No, this is an entire house. Where the only thing on the outside of the walls is the outside air. There's an entire foot between the inside wall and the outside wall.
Yep, that's the way you do that.
But yeah, that's what made me think of it. He went through multiple designs with the heat exchanger that he had in the attic, so that there was sufficient heat exchange or air exchange, so it didn't get too overly stuffy and such. But it was still, very efficient on the heating.
So, Sarah, do you want to explain what it means that you're doing an underpainting now?
Let's see. I mean, I guess there's a few major ways to make a painting. I guess this would be considered an underpainting, because I do paint on top of this. But some of this paint will still show through. So I'm not gonna like obliterate this that you're seeing in layers. There's definitely people who paint what's called alla prima, which is just like the paint that they put down is the paint as it stays. They're not layering it up. They're painting wet on wet. But yeah, no, I do a lot of small details, and I find that putting paint down, manipulating it while it's wet, and then letting it dry and putting more paint down on top of it allows me to get better range of details. So yeah, this is like a first pass, and then I'm going to go in and I guess, well, part of the thing is like, you're still going to see me do a lot to this underpainting before I, you know, get anywhere near putting another layer on top of it. I'm not a very good teacher, so I don't really know how to explain underpainting beyond that. People are like, oh, you should do teaching. I'm like, I don't know that I should do teaching, actually.
I mean, you don't have to teach it necessarily to explain
True.
what you're doing.
True.
Just
I'm
like,
putting down paint.
Why are you doing
Right.
this thing?
I'm putting down some paint
what is the result
that's
going to be?
covering the canvas that I'm then going to put more paint on top of. And that will allow me to build up the painting. But yeah, so what I'm doing now is also called blocking in, where like I'm not trying to do all the careful gradient that's going to go from that curve to here. I'm laying in, all right, here's where the dark shape masses are, here's where the medium masses are, here's where the light masses are, and then it can go in after I have them blocked in and refine them. But like I said, not everybody paints that way. There are lots of different ways to paint. You don't have to do it this way. It's supposed to be a dark shade, not a light shade. And also, if you were watching the beginning of this, I was having issues being like, wait, am I painting that line right now or this line right now, as I keep looking back and forth to my reference images. So blocking in also helps, like, create landmarks that I can go back into. But there's also people who, like, oh my goodness, I'm always astonished where, like, someone will come in, they'll just paint the arm, and then the arm will be completed and totally perfect, and then they'll paint this part of the sleeve, and then that's done and completed, and then they'll paint, and it's just, I definitely work easier when I'm filling in a lot more at once and moving around. I personally find that helps the painting tie together better, and it's also something that I've definitely been taught to do, and you know, have had it explained that doing it that way allows a painting to not have like a jarring, like, I had teachers who were like, yeah, don't paint that way where you paint one piece and then another piece because they just won't look like they go together, basically. And then I see painters do it that way, like professional painters, and it works for them. So don't believe everything you hear in school. I think is the moral to that story. Got some schmutz in my paint. Alright, what's that line? Where does that go? Alright, that's that one. I don't know if you guys can hear my neighbors through the door.
Yep.
Is that what that is? Yes.
Yep.
That's what I guessed.
I didn't actually know whose end it was coming from, so.
Yep. I'm not sure if Teddy's a person or a dog.
Some would say dogs are people.
Fine.
I'm not saying I'm one of those people.
Oh, okay. Fine.
I'm not saying I'm not either.
What would you like me to reply? clickety click.
Yeah, I've got one of the new Mac Pros, and they have unpleasantly loud keyboards.
Oh.
Huh. Weird.
I mean, some people
It's
like
always-
clicky keyboards. Like Mike likes really clicky keyboards, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, like I surely know plenty of people who like them. It's just that for a long time, Apple has had a trend of quiet keyboards for like
Oh, that's true,
at
yeah.
least
I didn't even think about it that way.
the past decade, probably.
Oh, the 2015 model is nice. The next model after that, the keyboard is smaller, so the keys are closer together. Touchpad is larger, and so I just can't type on the damn thing. I hate it. And the keys are not raised as much either. There's not as much travel, and they click. They click so badly that in certain conference rooms, some of the conference rooms have the microphones on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mark cut out again.
And I'm
Yep.
typing. I'm told stop typing
Oh.
because it interferes with the sound of the meeting.
The heck is that, Mark? Oh, that's where that goes. Okay. I had a 24 by 24 canvas I was going to use for this, but when I pulled it out, I realized there was a hole in one of the corners. So I just have a piece of canvas kind of clipped to a piece of cardboard right now, which is making it a little bit more flimsy than I usually paint on. Also, it being large is making it wobble more. I also don't normally paint on stretched canvases, so I'm like, it's a little bit half and half. Like, I'm a little bit happy that I get to paint on it flat right now, and a little bit annoyed. I don't like stretched canvases because they have like a little bit of bounce to them, like they're springy, and so sometimes if I'm doing small details, I'll be pressing it with my paintbrush, and the canvas will be moving, and I don't like that. I mean, yes, the canvas is moving now too, but not the same way.
Right. Not in a bouncy kind of way.
Yeah.
A bouncy C. Give me a C. A bouncy C.
You're referencing something, but I don't know what.
Martin Short,
Oh, okay.
one of his characters, would say that, and then burst into song.
I haven't seen Martin Short do anything in a while.
He and Steve Martin actually did a stand-up thing on Netflix just some
Huh.
months ago.
Cool. Alright, let's see. How do I want to play this?
Feels like it was only months ago. Could have been last year for all I remember at this point.
Yeah, everything just kind of blurs together.
Yeah, my sense of time is completely screwed
Yep.
these days.
Ditto.
Yeah, not an uncommon affliction. Wow.
Actually, the other canvas that I have prepped right now, the one that I got from Fanula, though, I was pleasantly surprised at just how taut that thing is stretched, so it actually won't have that much bounce to it, which makes me happy.
I'm curious, like, what the measurable tension is on on a canvas.
I mean, it's gonna vary a lot based on how good you are at doing it and other
Right,
things,
yeah.
but yeah.
It's what exactly does really taut mean versus,
Yeah.
kind of okay.
Let's see. Oh, Beta, did you check out Framed?
No.
It is really, really nifty. So it's basically the game is told in a series of comic book panels. And so what will happen is the panels will be there, and the main character will be moving from one panel to the next, and then something bad will happen, and then you have the option of reordering the panels into a way where hopefully the main character can avoid that obstacle.
Uh-huh.
And then it
That
will play
sounds
through
cool.
again, and if you got it right, then it will move you to the next page. And if you got it wrong, you can just keep reorganizing the panels until you have an optimal solution.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, it definitely has the Baba is you sort of element to it.
True, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, like I don't know if there's an actual way to fail at the game because you just can keep trying.
Right.
Gosh, I need to buy more sap green when I'm at the store. sometimes I find myself mixing paint in little chunks, and I'll be like, all right, how much blue do I need to add to get this to look just right? And then I'll mix the other chunk after I kind of know what I'm doing. I used to amaze customers sometimes when I was still at Utrecht and Blick. Someone would come in and they'd be like, I'm trying to mix, and then, show you, they'd have some example of what color they're trying to mix and how much trouble they're having with it, and I'd be like, oh, okay, and I'd, grab a couple of tubes off the shelf and mix that color for them and be like, all right, so these are the colors you need to get to mix that color. And they'd be like, wow, how did you do that? I'm not sure how to explain it. It's just practice.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of practice.
Yeah, back when shortly after my undergraduate degree, I was sharing a house with two guys. One of whom was working
Bye,
for
Henry.
a company writing software to match colors, basically. Back
Oh.
in 1987, 1988, so quite a long time ago. So that you could bring in a sample and scan it, and they would actually be able to mix paint for you.
Well, I feel like
Now you can just bring a sample to Home Depot, and they've got software that does that for you.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Like I have heard of that. So okay.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't that impresses me. Like I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously computers can do a lot, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
the concept still impresses me.
I suspect that that involved a lot of programming in. This is how you get all of these individual shades. It could have been even automatic remote, but it was probably just they know how to mix all these thousands of shades that they have in their catalog, and so they program all of those in, and then figure out, okay, this one is in between these three, kind of. So,
Well, I mean, even the color picker, in any image editing application, you dot it on a color and it tells you, what the how much blue, how much red, how much.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
I mean, computers can already kind of do that.
Right, they know what color something is, but being able to mix the pigments for it is still substantially harder, I think.
Let me just stare at this for a sec. Where am I? Where's that? I'm just following my lines. That's that one. What the heck line is that? Obviously, I'll need to fix this later if I just have to put the paint down. If I got it wrong, I can fix it later.
I was going to say, how often with these hard to figure out which line it is, things you in fact get it wrong?
It definitely happens. I definitely get it wrong. It doesn't necessarily always matter, though. So sometimes I end up having a photograph and I'm literally copying every single fold exactly, and then sometimes I have multiple photographs and I've chosen, I like the way that fold looks, I'm going to put that one here, and I'm going to put this fold here, and you kind of design it a little bit, and I ended up going, I leaned heavily on the design aspect for this one over the photo reference, actually, to try it and see if I could do it. And so it doesn't actually really matter if I got that line right in the right place, because I'm, when I go back and look at my photo reference, I can fudge it, basically. But I still want to try to get it as close as I can.
Yeah.
I need to mix a new color. I need something that's in between that one and that one.
Ah, stickers. I hate this part.
Stickers? Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
what are you doing that involves stickers? Right.
Yeah, because I'm very particular about them,
Yep.
which makes me hate them more.
I totally understand.
The little tiny 1x1 stickers too.
Yeah.
Do you have tweezers?
I don't think I know where they are anymore.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good idea for someday. Thank.
Well, I heard somebody join the Discord.
It's Becca.
It is Becca. I assumed that username was you, but I hadn't seen it say anything yet, so, you know. Steven's like, who's Complete Freak? I'm like, well, probably Becca.
Hi, Becca.
Are you sewing or
Hi,
doing
Becca.
something?
Say that again?
Are you sewing or drawing today too?
Oh, no. I, interestingly enough, just got back from a very quick, well, it wasn't very quick, but a very small picnic with
Aw.
Jeff and Jeff's mom.
Cute.
Yeah.
Cool.
Watch the live while you do this, huh? That's gonna drive me crazy.
What's gonna drive you crazy?
I was gonna watch your live at the same time, but the overlay is a little delayed. My tablet's a little bit too old for this. So
Oh, we can't do
we'll
both at
just-
the same time.
No.
Aw.
So we'll just close Facebook, totally fine, and we'll just roll with Discord.
The audio is a little bit out of sync with the video for me too. I don't think it's because of your tablet, if that's the issue.
Well, I
Well,
guess
I
it
mean-
sounds like Becca just can't have both open at the same time without her tablet dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing the one to
And now B-Dan's audio is dying.
not have problems.
Let's see.
My apologies on behalf of my company. We're doing the best we can.
What?
Yeah, what?
Work for Akamai. There's a very good chance that this
Yep.
video is going over our servers.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Interesting.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
I think the recent numbers are something like 50% of internet traffic goes through our servers.
Is that true for live content too? So I knew Akamai did a lot of, hosted stuff.
Oh,
I didn't realize they were also okay.
Definitely true for live content. We basically, oh, that's not recognized. That is upside down. Okay. Like the World Cup a couple of years ago, we brought that to you.
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay.
And other big sporting events. A lot of them are at least facilitated by our network. I mean, we've got 250,000 servers all over the globe.
Right.
Only responsible for about 40,000 of them.
That's nothing.
About a sixth of the servers carrying 30% of the net traffic.
So wait, Becca, do you have a laptop?
we physically have a couple in the house, but I would say that it's nothing newer than 2015.
I mean, that's still not bad. I'm just surprised you don't have a laptop out if you wanted to
It
do.
depends on the. There are probably some 2015 laptops that are in pretty good shape, and there are some that are probably really terrible right now.
Okay.
Well, so Jeff was telling me that his runs on Windows XP, so some of his like online licensing has run out and can't be renewed, and then my netbook, I don't even know if it turns on. So,
Alas.
alas.
Oh yeah, netbooks. I'm not at all surprised. Would be less good at this time. Like I'm watching on a 2011 iMac, which is basically doing okay, but it was pretty high end in 2011. So
Yeah. I would say the highest piece of equipment that we have is the really high-end curved TV that we bought recently, but the only way to watch anything through it is through the PS4s that we have, and PS4, I don't think it does Facebook. It might.
Yeah, probably not.
But no, I just found a little plastic key. It's a little charm that you can buy in bulk that a friend of mine got for cosplay that she was doing, and she just left the access at my house. And it's reminding me that I still want to do that chain dress.
Oh, yeah.
I should probably pick that back up again.
The one that you're working on the color for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I saw your pictures of the color. I have no idea what the rest of the dress looks like.
Is there a way for me to share pictures on a chat on Discord?
Yes. You just share them to one of the channels. Or one of the...
Yeah, one of the text channels.
One of the text channels.
Do you want it in general, introductions, or live paint?
Just put it in general for now. I might make another stream at some point if people end up wanting to use this Discord group more regularly.
Sounds good. I'll find the pictures. If you've ever been to the MFA, you've seen this dress.
I mean, I certainly have been to the MFA, but I didn't necessarily see everything that was in the MFA the most recent time that I went, and the last time before that was a while ago. So, the last time I went to the MFA was for the gender bending fashion exhibit.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
I missed that. I was so upset.
Did I go with you? Were you?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was there with Carolyn, but I couldn't remember who else had come with us.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
So I'm going to do a steampunk version.
Because I definitely do not remember seeing that. in person. But
Really? In the hallway?
okay. I mean, I do tend to just gravitate towards specific areas at that museum and then not see the rest of the place. But, you know.
And hallways are weird because if you're trying to get to a specific place, even if you walk past something, it is possible to miss it.
Yeah.
If you're like focused on getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, there we go. Now I have paint on all of the parts that I wanted to have paint on, kind of.
Yay!
Well, so now I can start doing the thing where I go in and refine. Except the bodice. I need to get some paint down there. Yeah, I'm running out of burnt sienna.
I haven't actually looked back at the screen again in a while, and made a lot of progress since I last looked.
Yay!
What I'm getting at.
Well, and like I said, this is the blocking in phase, which is the get the paint down phase.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes the hardest part, because, like, I definitely get blank canvas fear, or just, you know, when I'm about to start a painting, I will frequently just stare at it and be like, how do I paint again? I forgot how to do this. I'm gonna do it wrong. But then sometimes I have to remind myself. So every once in a while, and I don't hear it in his voice, unfortunately, anymore. But there are some things that I learned from Jason Pollins that, like, you know, I just have to remind myself occasionally. And one of the things he's always says is you have to make a mark to adjust a mark. And so if I don't put the paint down in the first place, I can't then fix it if I get it wrong. So it doesn't matter if I put it down wrong. I just have to put the damn paint down.
Mhm. I'm sitting over here smiling quietly to myself about the.
Is it because your name is Mark? Yeah.
Listen, there's also a parallel in some dance forms, notably in Scottish country dancing, and I tell people that you're definitely going to be wrong if you just stand still.
Well, yep, there you go.
Which is of course not actually always true. Sometimes you are supposed to stand still. But like, if you don't know where to go, and you're pretty sure you're supposed to be going somewhere, then standing still is never going to be the right choice.
It's true.
Yeah. That's an hour ago. Okay.
What was an hour ago?
I'm also occasionally checking something at work.
Oh, yay.
Last timestamp is at 17:23:56 GMT. So I was trying to figure out when was that.
I like. In some ways, I wish we would all just switch to UT for everything, and then you wouldn't have to convert back and forth. But at the same time, when some machines are in Eastern Time and some are on UT, it is kind of annoying. And I would like the ones that are on UT not to be that way.
Just wish things could be internally consistent with the system that I work with all the time, because there's one interface where I'm setting times, and it tells me I'm setting them in Eastern Time. And then later an email comes out from the same subsystem to other people saying that the due time is and it has the same numbers I entered, but it claims it's UTC.
Ugh.
Like, no, they're 4 hours off.
Okay.
4 or 5 hours off, depending on what time of year it is.
Once at a job, we had to switch our entire record keeping to UTC because when we spun up a new server, we accidentally failed to set the time zone correctly, and then we started having new database entries in UTC, and it was easier to just go forward with UTC for everything than it was to switch everything back.
No.
It led to some sort of weird results around the end of the year when, people were trying to make end of year donations, and we had to say, your donations will only be counted for end of, 2016 if they are by end of 2016 in UTC.
I'm just glad I'm going to be retired by 2038.
Yay!
So tell a layman what 2038 means.
So, on Unix systems, generally speaking, time is kept as seconds since January 1st, 1970. And if you store that in 32 bits, that goes back to 0 in January of 2038.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
So I
So
think
is that
that's
like-
32-bit sign, but anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say 31 bits, really, but
Yeah.
I have already encountered 2038 problems.
Okay.
Like, because sometimes, you wind up working with far future dates.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Not that far anymore. It's only 18
Right.
years from now.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually.
Yep. Steve and Phoenix have joined on Facebook.
Hi, more peoples.
Okay.
Ask questions if you have any.
Joined on Facebook, but not on the Discord.
Uh,
Everyone's
the-
on the Discord.
I think they have a Discord invite if they want one. I didn't give Discord invites out to like.
And here comes
everybody.
Steve on the Discord, actually.
I think I had originally
like
asked
Steve.
at like on one of the
Yep.
at one of the tea parties I had asked if people were interested, and so I just kind of gave out the Discord invite to some of the people who seemed like they were interested at
Yeah, I'm
tea
here
that
too.
day. Oh, hello! I didn't want the Discord to get like too many people.
Hi.
Right.
How goes?
I am. Hello.
Hello.
We could hear you, Steve, but now you've pretty much muted yourself.
It's good. We're inside hiding in the AC from being outside where we were just putting on a coat of polyurethane on some wood for Phoenix's hot tub divider thing.
Ooh, yay. Hot tub. In my mind, I thought I was going to end up in a hot tub more this season. But, then the stuff happened.
Yeah.
There is a lot of delay between the two stream.
Yes, there is.
I think most of us are finding it easier to have the one muted.
Yeah, just mute the Facebook. Gesundheit. I should probably lower this. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm raising my arm up way too high. I don't need to be raising my arm that high.
Ergonomics are a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should I lower
You
my
raise
camera
it
view,
to
or
get
is
it
this...
out of the way of your paintbrushes? So you,
What?
I assume you can. Yeah.
No, everything raises and lowers together.
Right. But previously you left the paintbrushes in
Yes.
place and raised the painting.
Yes, I can raise the painting separately from the paintbrushes, but this is sort of optimal where it is right here, so I tend to leave it once I've got it set. Let's see, what color does that get? Oh, that gets like that, okay.
Okay, is our audio working here, Sarah?
I can hear you.
Yay, good.
What did you change?
So I have a little speaker that also has a mic so that we can just go through the Discord.
Oh,
and,
okay.
As you suggested, muting the Facebook,
Yeah,
and that way both Steve and I can talk.
that makes sense.
We might sound a little tinny, but I promise we're not in a tin can.
I'm just going to imagine you being in a tin can now, just because, why not?
It's too warm for that today.
That's true.
Here am I sitting in my tin can.
I was just saying that it's quite relaxing watching you paint and delightful.
Oh, yay! I'm glad.
Is this the first stream that you've done?
Can you rephrase the question?
Is this the first live stream of you painting? that
Yes,
you've,
this is the first
set
live
up?
stream. Yeah. So I'm curious to see what, do people enjoy this? Would people watch? Are people going to have questions? I don't know. Because I've definitely had people say that they liked, seeing my step-by-steps when I post those. So this is sort of the next logical conclusion. I've been also fooling around with trying time-lapse videos. And I have some recorded of some of the paintings that I got in process right now, except I'm mostly working on NDA stuff, so I can't release the time lapses until the projects come out. So I wanted to do something a little bit more public.
That's exciting, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tease
What was the last bit?
I said it was quite a teaser.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I have other stuff, but I can't show you yet. because it's top secret.
One of them is going to get kickstarted, I think, in a couple of months, and then the other one is coming out sometime next year.
Ooh. The Kickstarter going. I really have been offline, I guess.
I'm not doing the Kickstarter. It's for an anthology, and the publisher is running a Kickstarter. I've never done a Kickstarter. This is all new territory. I definitely hear that Kickstarters are the thing to do, though.
They are for some things, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put this in. There we go.
What did I get? What did I do on it? Oh, that's what happened.
Just so you know, Sarah, you are currently, the speaker is huddled up next to a very adorable dog.
Oh, yay! I should remember to drink my tea, too.
have so much iced tea in my fridge now.
I haven't done any iced tea, but my place hasn't been getting so hot that I desperately need it, thankfully. Yeah.
Oh, apparently the Facebook video is mirrored.
Huh?
Or, wait. Yeah, the Facebook video is mirrored. Your mug shows up backwards.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, mirrored. I thought you said nerd, and I was like, what do you mean it's nerd? I mean, I know I'm a nerd, but... Also, for some reason, I specifically see Mark's icon in the corner of my screen. Yes, Phoenix, I was talking about my process earlier, and if anybody, saying if anybody had questions to let me know. So if you have any questions, let me know, because I don't always know what I should be talking about.
What's your favorite part about painting?
Oh, well, that's a hard one. I don't know. I've never really thought about that specifically. I've just always loved painting.
Is there a stage that you're like, yes, I want to get to that stage and I'll know exactly where I'm at and know exactly what to do, or do you just love the whole process?
I definitely don't love the whole process. There's stages that I don't like. It's sometimes it changes from painting to painting.
Thumbnailing?
I heard a voice come in there. I don't know what it said.
I was suggesting that perhaps thumbnailing was one of your least favorites.
Oh yes, thumbnailing is absolutely my least favorite.
I don't know what that is.
So before doing a painting or any sort of image, it's the part where you're coming up with what you're going to do. But like in a broader sense, so say I'm doing a book cover, for example.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not where that line was supposed to go. That's okay. I'm definitely like running into the thing where like, wait, no, that line was supposed to be over here. Oh well. Doing the part where I'm like, all right, so these are who the characters are, and this is sort of like what they're supposed to be doing. And coming up with the imagery about what something is going to look like. Sometimes like pulling teeth for me. I'll just be kind of sitting and staring at my page and not really doing anything in a timely manner. But then once I've gotten to the part where I actually like some of the thumbnails and I'm rendering them and figuring out more details, I'm okay with that part. I just don't like the trying to come up with the imagery part always. Also, I have a lot of glare right now. I need to move my lamp so I can actually see my painting. I need to be able to move it so that you guys can still see me though, and the painting I can see. That helps. I mean, there's a certain thing, there's things I like about a lot of it. And I definitely like getting to render little detailed things. This one is, usually I really enjoy rendering all the details in Fabric, but just because there's so much of it here and I'm totally losing where the heck I am in it, that part's not helping.
Fair enough.
There's just so much, and I'm losing my landmarks. I thought that line was that line, whatever. I'll get over it.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah?
Please tell me why we built castles in the sky. Please tell me why, yeah. I don't actually know the answer. It's a lyric in the song, but I don't, the more I think about it, the more I don't understand why in the world that's lyrics of a song, other than the fact it rhymes.
I feel like we need a historian for this one, because, like, you know what, Story might be able to answer this, because, you know, she does a lot of stuff with literature, but, like, yeah, there's a lot of tropes, and now I'm wondering when there was the first fairy tale in which there was a castle in the sky.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, yeah, where did that come from? But I mean, you know, because there's a
I
lot.
also kind of feel like maybe asking the composer of the song might be a useful way to go.
No, probably not.
No. Yeah.
I'm with you on this one. They do a deadline! Man, that was on the deadline! I was lucky I found something that rhymes. Like, okay, probably fair.
That's entirely possible. That's the answer you'll get. Sure.
Or they were really high and they were like, man, tell me why we put castles in the sky. And you're like, that
Yeah.
sounds like a great song. Let's make that into a song.
Yeah, how many times have you listened to songs and just been like, this has got to have been created while they were high?
But sometimes it turns out they weren't. Like,
I know, but, like, sometimes it turns out they were.
Or they were just, it was like, 2 a.m. and they were up really late from like a long, hard day and like they were mildly delusional.
Or it was 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and they were lonely.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of options.
And drunk calling your ex, I suppose.
Another great source for song lyrics, yeah. Or they were like searching Craigslist misconnections for like weird things that people said, and they're like, "What the hell did they just song lyric?"
Some call me the Pompatus of Love.
Do they really?
No.
Okay.
It turns out that the author of that song just made up the word.
No, monitor, don't turn off. There we go.
Did I get them all?
What came first, castles in the sky or cities under the ocean?
Where I am, you cut out, so I only heard the first half of the question.
Oh, what came first, castles in the sky or cities under the ocean?
ooh.
Castles.
What about the light on the hill?
You lost me there.
That's, I think, a biblical reference, actually.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on my biblical stories. Alright, so like now I'm looking at this. Now that I've already blocked in the shapes and I'm starting to refine some of them, now I'm looking at them, you know, especially as I step back and I'm like, alright, now it's starting to look like real fabric.
Shoot. I didn't realize my video had stopped. I wasn't seeing you anymore.
Oh,
Or, I mean, I wasn't seeing anything moving.
I'm still moving, I swear.
She's still moving, I see her.
But yeah, no, I just hit the
Yeah.
play button and she's back again. But
Yeah, maybe
I
face.
lost the adventure.
I mean, I know YouTube will definitely be like, "Are you still watching?" And it'll check in on me, and I'll be like, "Yes, I'm still watching." And by watching, I mean listening in the background because I'm not actually watching. And then I'm confused as to why it stopped. sometimes Steven's better at answering a question like, what's Sarah's favorite thing to paint? Because I think I just don't think about it. And so sometimes if someone asks him a question like that, he'd be like, oh, it's obviously, blah, blah, blah.
Sarah, what's your favorite paint color?
Probably Phthalo Blue, even though I don't actually use it that much.
What's one?
Probably Phthalo Blue, even though I don't actually use it that much.
Why don't you use it very much?
It's I was saying this earlier actually. It's a really powerful, strong color, so you have to use it very sparingly, and it kind of takes over. And I just don't always have a good place to use it. Like this, I was saying I might break it out for this one later, but yeah. So I don't use it a whole lot, but it's beautiful. I love it.
Do you ever just try and like work it into a painting, just like a tiny little area or something?
No, because if I just put it in one area, it doesn't really tie together. It's like, why is that color randomly there? You say? I'm a little bit surprised Heisenberg's not out here meowing at me. He's been very needy lately. He's not doing great. I think because he hasn't been eating very well. But more and more often he'll just come out and meow at me, and he just wants to be held. And so sometimes I'll literally be holding him in one arm and painting with my other hand. And he's perfectly content to do that, actually. So I actually thought he'd be out here, but maybe he'll come out later. Now I'm just trying to remember where all these lines go. I really miss figure painting, though.
Mm.
Didn't you still try and do like an online one?
It's not the same. It's really serious. I've done a couple of them. It's just, yeah, no.
Oh, sure. I'm sure that it's not the same, but
It's not the same enough to the point that I'm just like, it's not worth it.
gotcha.
Yeah, I could just be painting something else.
The figure painting where people wear masks and stuff, and that's also like included in the painting. And
Yeah.
also us like sticking to the time.
Isabel is trying to get one going, I think Monday. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, if this one might, like, I know someone who has a barn that I wonder if, like, a figure painting, because it's a larger space, if everyone could be far enough apart and also wear masks, like, it could be a safe way to do it.
Yeah, well, that's what we're gonna be there wearing masks. Yes.
I,
You're cutting out. I'm not actually sure entirely what you're saying.
I said I see.
Go ahead.
The mic was a bit far away.
Oh, okay.
I fixed it.
Cool. Yeah, she's organizing one where we will be distanced and wearing masks. So I'm definitely keen to try that. Actually, the local group that I go to has opened back up again, but I don't feel comfortable going into a basement with 10 people.
Just so you know, Sarah, because I don't know, sometimes it's fun to know these things. Phoenix and I are currently working on a thing with fiber optics.
Yay! Oh, is it the stepping stones?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited to see that.
Me too.
I could post a picture in the feed or on your to you or something.
Yeah, you could post it in Discord, or you could post it directly to the comments of the Facebook video, whatever makes
Well,
sense.
Yeah, it'll get, good question. I'll figure something out. Well, as usual, things are complicated because it's Steve that's logged into the Discord and it's me that's logged into the Facebook on my computer.
Oh, okay.
But the picture's on my phone. Technology problem. Hashtag first world problems. I don't know. Hashtag COVID. I don't know. We're doing things.
Yeah.
We're good.
Oh, looks like Fanula also likes phthalo blue. But yes, as she says, unless you're painting peacocks all the time, it's not super common. Clearly, I should just be painting more peacocks. I have to remember to step back and take a look from back here. Oh. I'm looking at my reference photos and I just don't remember where I copied that part out of.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yup. Pretzel time.
I'm at a section of this particular Lego build where I'm building 2 of a thing for the entirety of a set of bags. And within that, I'm making 6 of a thing for each of those 2 things.
That feels like it could be tedious.
It is a little.
All right, Mark, what's your favorite part about building Legos?
Discovering clever design tidbits that they have come up with.
All right.
Like that pipe organ I posted a picture of a little while ago.
Was it a working pipe organ?
No. Although next weekend's project is going to be a working grand piano.
I guess you.
Only 2 octaves though.
Yeah. I guess you could build a working pipe organ with the pneumatic stuff.
Might be a little challenging.
Asking something?
Oh, I was making a pun, so I said a moderately grand piano then, not a grand piano.
To be fair, it doesn't actually have any strings in it. All the things inside have the relevant movements, and apparently you can in fact hook it up to your phone and play the grand piano using the phone for the actual sound.
Huh.
I'm very curious how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Or if I'm misunderstanding.
I assume you saw the thing where someone built like a full-size Lego harpsichord a while back.
I think I missed that.
Yeah, like a working harpsichord with strings and everything.
Wow. This is actually a regular, Lego sold.
Right. Yeah,
The
no,
Lego
this is...
Ideas submission that very easily got enough votes to actually become a product.
Right.
My guess is that it uses the touch screen plus touch sensitive, like little things that you can click onto Lego so that like they hit specific spots on your screen, and then they just have a little app that lets it play the appropriate note for the appropriate spot.
I don't know. I'll find out.
If I were building it, I'd probably do that.
I say next weekend because it's due out on August 1st, and I plan to be there to get it that day, but
All right, Mark, definitely let me know when you're doing it, and maybe I'll paint along while you build.
okay. Supply lines are not necessarily all working as we would like right now, so I can't guarantee I'll actually be able to get it next weekend.
Yeah, whenever. I have no idea what my availability is going to be next weekend anyway. At some point between, at some point at the end, by the end of the week, towards next weekend, I'm getting my eggs retrieved, and I just don't know when yet. So
Yeah.
it's so annoying. I have to, because the place that I have to get my ultrasounds and blood draws is out in Waltham, and Steven needs the car to get to Danvers for work, and so this involves me basically riding to work with him, then driving myself to my blood draw and ultrasound, driving home, and then going and picking him up at the end of the day. Which is what I'm doing today. So as soon as the stream is over, I'm going to wash my brushes and go pick up Steven in Danvers.
I was just in Danvers yesterday, but that's because that's where my primary care physician is, and I had my annual checkup yesterday.
Are you normal?
I mean, as normal as I am these days.
Alright, I'm liking the way this is turning out. Every time I step back, I'm like, oh yeah, those are fabric folds. That's a good sign.
Yay.
I'm gonna crunch some more pretzels, guys.
There it is.
Alright, that's that line. The other problem is that, like, once the paint buildup starts to get as thick as it is right now, which is still thin compared to some people's standards, but thick for me, I'm going to reach a point where I'm going to have to stop before and let it dry before I can continue, because of the way I work. Because I won't be able to do anything because it's going to be too wet. Like, I can't darken this spot here appropriately to like how dark I want it right now, just because I'm just layering up the paint too much. changed that. That's why. Yes, I do talk to myself like this when I paint.
Oh, that's good, because I talk to myself like that when I'm doing lab work too.
Yep.
I talk to myself when I'm doing just about anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Deliberately keeping my talking to myself down to a minimum right now.
I mean, you know, if you're going to be entertaining, then, you know, speak up.
I mostly just entertain myself.
Okay. Oh, that's the wrong brush. And then sometimes I just put the wrong brush to the canvas rather than the one on my other hand. Alright, so the other thing I can do is if I put the wrong paint in the wrong spot, let's wipe that out. Alright, I want that color there. Well, this could be squigglier. Doodoo, 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 doodoo.
That was me just going out and back in again because my screen blanked so you couldn't hear me again.
I don't mind the cute little background sound effects. Alright, I'm running out of burnt sienna.
How often do you find like you run out of a certain color that you need to continue in, so you can't really continue until you go get more paint?
That rarely, but mainly because I actually use such small quantities of paint compared to some people that, like, I usually know well in advance of when I need to pick up a new color. And also I have like giant tubes of the ones I use a lot of. So like, you know, I'm more likely to run out of like a color that I don't use that much, in which case I'll just be like, all right, whatever, I'll get by without it and use something similar. I have, I don't know if you guys can see, can I like zoom in and zoom out on here? Hey, look at that. So I've got quite a variety of like similar colors, like a lot of different shades of blue and different shades of yellow and different shades of red. So if I do run out of one and I need it to at least be close, I can usually get it good enough.
Okay.
Oh look, I've got Danielle and her kids. Yay! Just wanted to know what kind of paint you. I'm using oil paint. I used to do watercolor and acrylic. I never liked acrylic, to be honest. I find that acrylic dries way too quickly for me to have any sort of control over it. Like with oil paint, this is still wet. I can go in and be like, all right, well I wanted it to blend more. But it comes a lot in the blending that I found when I was working with acrylics. You can thin them out to like glaze nice gradients, but it's so time consuming and messy and gross. And with oil paints, I can put two colors next to each other and then spend 3 hours blending them exactly the way I want them to blend, rather than have them dry on me while I'm working on them. So yeah, once I made the switch to oil paints, they do in essence dry too slow, but I'd rather them dry too slow than too fast. Watercolor I still like. I'll go back to watercolor occasionally. But I like oil paints more. Also, when I was a kid, I used to try to paint along with Bob Ross using acrylic paint or watercolors, and it just pissed me off because I couldn't do what he was doing. I also usually work small. Danielle said that they're usually working like smaller, but yeah, this is big for me. This is 24 by 24. Usually I'm working anywhere between 9 by 12 and like 14 by 18. All right, let's see, where am I going with this? What's that piece? So my freezer is making weird noises at me again. Sometimes I hear this little sound, and I'm just like, what is that? Is there like a mouse in the kitchen or something? It's just the freezer, I guess.
Yeah, freezers make weird noises.
Yeah. Alright, so that came down.
So I need everyone in this group chat to know the shame that is my cat. She is chewing on tape because apparently that tastes good.
I don't know how much
Sure.
is taste versus mouthfeel, because Heisenberg and Gwen also like chewing on various sorts of things to that effect.
Okay, so now here's the real tedious part of this build. Assembling the 88 pieces into 2 threads. 88 identical pieces.
Alright, there's a darker green. Alright, so that's that. This comes out here. Oh, I think Steve posted a picture. Now I want to see. Ooh.
Got fiber optics.
Yay.
Ah,
Oh, that's
not
big.
for data communication, for art. Okay.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, I actually worked in optical routing.
Okay.
So,
Your brain went somewhere else entirely.
yep.
I had some advanced knowledge, so yes, I knew that there was something art related. Alright, that goes there. That's the back of that.
Is it just quiet now?
I think it might just be quiet now. You need to be louder then, Becca.
We can make some noise if you want us to.
Let's see. I'm confusing myself. I don't know which line is which anymore. That was that one. Okay, I know where it happened here. All right, that goes like that. That makes more sense now. Okay. Part of the problem is I really liked this fold of fabric from one of my reference photos, and I really liked this fold of fabric from another one. And so I'm,
You just have to merge them together as you paint.
right, exactly. But in the one
Yeah.
of this, the thing that became this is like an extra fold away, and so there's like another fold in between them, and I'm just like, wait a sec, what now? Did I just, I didn't like that one. I took that one out. Especially because like when you get too much repetition, then it starts to look weird. It was going to be like fold, 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 like all evenly distributed. I'm like, no, like that's what fabric does frequently, but if you're doing that in a painting, it just starts to look too static. So I was picking which ones I liked to break up the monotony. And the monotony.
Do, 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 do.
I was thinking Arlington, but that works too.
Yeah.
Monotony. Do, 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 do. Actually, when I do drive through Arlington, I think of that song though, so.
Yeah.
Doodoo, doodoo. I'll friend you later, Phoenix. Alright, that goes there.
Okay.
K. O.
Two strings
I
and
won.
44 treads. Now to put them on the model.
Hi, everybody. Cat's on feed.
Aww. Hi, Gwen.
Began saying hi to you.
There we go.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Alright, it's cat away.
There.
Yeah,
Now it
so,
has
like-
treads.
To reiterate again and, give a new answer for things I like about painting, when I step back at phases like this and look at it and be like, this is really starting to come together, that feels good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because there's plenty of occasions where I look at it and I'm just like, oh my god, what? Let's see. I can hear the Lego pieces.
Oh, sorry, what?
I said I could hear the Lego pieces.
Actually, what you're hearing is me pulling the bags with the pieces came in.
Oh, okay.
3 sets of bags down, 5 to go.
You guys can probably hear the dog down the hall barking now. We're not actually allowed to have dogs in this building, but one person has dogs. I believe that they are support animals of some sort. But they are really yappy. It's entertaining though, because like I can tell when Steven's coming home because they just start barking because he's walking by their door on the way down the hall.
Well, that's disappointing.
That I can tell when Steven's coming home, or the Legos.
It's something I discovered about this model. Apparently, the two treads only work in tandem with each other. So it can go forward and backward, but it can't turn.
Oh.
I think I'm discovering. So it's early in the build. Maybe I'll find I was wrong for some reason. But
Well, can
it
you
looks like they're
can you
pretty well
re-engineer
put
it?
together. So what?
Can you re-engineer it after you're done building it and improve
I
it?
don't have that kind of ambition.
Okay.
I mean, I have at least one other model that does have independent treads, so I, would have something I could base it off of. Another model of a similarly insanely large scale.
Did you happen to watch the Try Guys video recently where they decided to build a Lego set without knowing what set they were building?
No, I haven't.
It was very silly. There was no way they were going to get anywhere without the instructions for this model. But it was silly to watch them try. I generally find them entertaining.
I watched a video of a speed build competition, but what I found out is they tell the participants what model it's going to be like a month in advance, so they get to practice ahead of time.
Oh, that seems.
I discovered something about this that I hadn't anticipated, and that was that there were some people who, at least by the time the competition started, they didn't need the instructions anymore. They were doing it from memory.
Right, exactly.
Yep. Makes sense.
Apparently, they give them all the sealed box and say go, and whoever finishes first wins.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the person who won was one of the people who just tossed the manual aside.
Yep.
You get docked if for getting bits wrong.
Yeah, it's like a speed run in a video game that you're going to get the fastest time by practicing it a bunch first.
That's true.
I can imagine an equally valid competition where they give them a set that no one has seen before.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking it was going to be.
But that would have to be like a brand new set is the thing. Like, because otherwise there's a good chance that at least some people would have already built it.
Of course. I really like how the painting's coming along.
Thank you. The paint in this area is too thick for me to darken it as much as I want to, so I'll have to wait for it to dry. Maybe if I use a softer brush. Yeah, no, it's not really getting in there. The other thing I'm trying to do is control where the contrast is. And I've got like too much contrast going in this fold here, so it's kind of dragging your eye away from the middle. All right, that helps. I've got Menomina stuck in my head right now. It's not like there's enough to that song to make it, you know, interesting. Repeats. Oh, and I had "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" stuck in my head the other day, and I'm just like, why? And then I started watching something today, and I realized it popped up on like an ad on YouTube or Netflix or something,
yeah.
and I was like, yep, that's no. Cool. Doodaloo, doodaloo. Does anyone else think of Homestar Runner? Strong bad emails with that? Okay, the laughing makes me hope that that's a yes. Doodaloo.
I mean, now that you say it, yes.
Okay, good.
Not inherently.
Oh, well, now it will, because you'll think of me.
Yep.
You're welcome. Let's see, that will do that. Okay. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I need this brush. Yeah, alright. Bigger brush time.
You like big brush and you cannot lie.
That's actually not true. I do not like big brushes. And I will not lie about that.
But sometimes you need them anyway.
Sometimes need them anyway.
That does not surprise me in the least that you do not like big.
I should hope not. I, in fact, like small brushes. And I've got some medium-sized ones that I'm pretty fond of.
I feel like we're not talking about brushes anymore.
No, I'm definitely still talking about brushes.
Yep.
be too soft. Yeah, I don't have a lot of big brushes either because I don't use them that often. Oh, come on, glare. Okay, so the other nifty thing that I learned about dealing with paint glare is from Jason, which is something called a knockdown brush. And if I run this ever so lightly along the paint, not enough to blend it, I change which direction the brush strokes are going in so that the light stops glaring on it. And like, yeah, like I don't even have any paint on this brush really after doing that.
Right.
But I'm just changing the angle. So now I can see that part of the canvas.
Sarah, we need to head out.
Cool.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for joining. If people are into this, I'll keep doing more.
Excellent. Happy painting.
Thanks. Happy fiber optics.
Oh, yeah.
Toodaloo, toodaloo, toodaloo. All right, let's see. What one was that? That's that one. That comes round. Just trying to remember which shape is which. This. I feel like this was supposed to go up more. Where did that even go? Oh, that's that one. Is that that one?
About that.
No worries. Yeah, that's. Oh, okay. There we go. That's shaped wrong. That's why I like totally messed that one up. Okay. That's supposed to go there. And then that means that goes there. Okay. Much better.
All right, I know why it's warmer. I've got the air conditioner set to a higher temperature.
Yep.
Kind of obvious when you think about it. Obviously, I wasn't.
Right. All right. Cool. Oh, that goes right up like that. This is too blue. First it was too gray, then it was too blue. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I can hear the upstairs neighbors playing with their new infant.
You cut out there for a moment.
Oh, I can hear the
Upstairs
upstairs.
neighbors.
Yeah, I can hear the upstairs neighbors playing with their new infant.
Ah.
What is that? That goes. Yep, need more green. So one of the other reasons I'm happy that oil paints are my medium of choice is that so I paint solvent free for the most part. I use a little bit occasionally, but very, very little. And I can get away with not using any at all if I need to. And because oil paints stay wet for so long, you know, when I have an infant around the place, you know, if something comes up and I need to stop what I'm doing and come back in a few hours, I haven't messed everything up. Like my
Yeah.
paint's still wet, my brushes are still fine, I can just get right back to work. I've definitely, like, you know, sometimes at the end of a painting session, what I'll do is throw my brushes in saran wrap and then wash them later in the evening. And then, you know, sometimes I forget and come back to them 3 days later and I'm just like, oh, I forgot to wash my brushes for 3 days. Well, they're fine. I just wash them off because
Yep.
it's oil paint. It hasn't dried yet.
Okay.
Get a lot of cat hair stuck in my paint, though. If you ever get to look at my paintings close up, look for the cat fur. I need to lighten up that area. Where was that fold? definitely reach a point where I'm bored of it sometimes, though. Like right now, I'm like, all right, I was having a lot of fun when I was working over there, and there's more now. Yeah, all right, fine.
You are doing a lot of the same thing today.
Yeah, I am. And I do have my other canvas prepped. I could pull it out and just switch canvases and go do a block-in phase for that one. And I thought about it, and I wasn't sure at the beginning whether or not I would do it that way. But the benefit of continuing to do this one now instead of switching is because the paint's still wet, this stage is going to be so much easier if I just suck it up and do it now than if I try to go back and do it later.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, the weird sounds parents make to their children. The guy upstairs is basically going, which, you know, makes sense when you have a child in front of you and just sounds weird out of context. Oh, that was all one thing, that's why. Okay.
And now it's B-Dan's keyboard I hear clacking.
Yep.
Yep. Yes, this is an old Power Mac keyboard from 2005, before they started going with the quieter ones.
Okay. First time I started using Mac was when I started with Akamai back in 2013.
I first started using. Go ahead.
I was just saying I was generally almost exclusively Linux before then.
Yeah. I started using Macs in about 1986, I think.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Where am I? Did I just
So around like
obliterate it?
83 or 84 when I bought my first home computer.
Uh-huh.
An IBM PC.
Yeah, no, I mean, my mom got her first home computer about 83 or 84.
That's funny because, like, I consider my family somewhat of an early adopter compared to many other people I know, but we didn't get our first until probably 92, 93, maybe a little earlier,
So,
Computer science at the
or
time.
maybe 90.
right. My mom was a computer science professor
Okay.
at the time. So in fact, before she got a PC, she had a home terminal.
Okay.
This was before they actually had hard drives in them.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm trying to remember because I know I
And
was.
You didn't save things to floppy or to the external cassette drive.
I
You had
actually
to supply your own cassette drive too.
right now I can't remember exactly what year because I know that I was on CompuServe on a 486 by 94. And before that, we had a 286 with a black and green screen.
Mm-hmm.
8088 is what I had.
Yep. That was what
Amber
my mom had.
monitor, though.
No, my mom's 8088 was green. I didn't know what that was. From Zenith.
We had an IBM. I think my mom worked for IBM.
I still have mine. My dad worked for IBM, so I got the discount on it.
Okay.
With the discount, you could get an actual IBM PC for roughly the same price as the clones were going for.
Oh, I don't remember any about what these cost. And I was too young to be involved in that part of the process.
Well, I bought it with my own money.
Right.
So I knew what it cost.
Yeah.
Like $2,000, and that's 1984 or whatever dollars. And, you know, a box with 128K of RAM, 2 double-side, double-density diskette drives.
Yep. Let's see. My mom's.
Like,
Danielle says she had an 8088.
Okay. Yeah.
My mom's, I believe, had 320K of RAM.
okay. It would come with 64K, and you had to pay extra for anything above that.
Probably, yes.
What goes here?
You know, as Bill Gates said, there would be no reason for anybody to need more than 640K on a computer.
Of course.
Meanwhile, some of our servers at work have, more than 640 gigs of RAM now.
Right.
Well,
Like,
device we all carry around in our pocket, most of us have at least 8 gig on that.
of RAM?
Oh, well, of storage.
Yeah, no.
Alright.
Like, I'm saying we have servers with over a terabyte of RAM.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I think phones are still, only a couple of gigs of RAM at this point, although they're, getting up there.
I feel like I'm working really slow right now.
I think last I actually looked, it was, you couldn't get much for less than 8 gig, actually. Most of them had 8 gig already, if I remember right.
I'm curious.
I might actually switch paintings soon because I feel like I'm slowing down and I'm getting to the point that I have worked this one to a reasonable point.
Okay, my phone, which is the, top end iPhone 11 Pro, has 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Maybe I'll just.
So I think very few phones have
No,
8 gigs at this point.
I might be conflating the two. Things. It's a storage in a phone.
Uh-huh. They don't tend to advertise the specs in that way for phones,
Yeah.
so the fact that it is actually important still.
Yes, I absolutely am. I was thinking of the internal storage rather than the RAM. Which, I mean, it actually is that internal storage. It's some sort of solid state.
Yeah, it's flash memory, but it's still slower than RAM and less volatile, which I guess go together.
And there's the amount of cache on the processor too.
Of course, yes.
I remember thinking about how things have changed when processor cache got up into the megabyte range.
All right, I'm not going to switch paintings. I'm just going to start to move into the figure on this one, I think. That makes more sense from a time standpoint. And my bun is falling out, so I'm going to fix that. And eat more pretzel. Nom, 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 nom.
I'm going to eat some ice cream.
Mmm.
1913 is half an hour ago, isn't it? Okay.
How's your build going?
Sorry.
No worries.
Looking at work stuff, and I'm like, I wasn't building software. I basically stopped after that third set of bags.
Oh, okay. All right.
Take a little break from it, kind of thing.
I'm gonna bring out the maul stick because I'm gonna need this. This, for those of you who don't know, is a maul stick. Mine is a janky rig of an old lamp base on a binder clip, and it's a stick, and I can hold it here, and then I can paint and have something that I'm resting my hand on that's not wet paint. Maul sticks are great.
Why is it called a muddle stick?
I can't remember. Anyone want to go look that one up?
I'll do that as soon as I scoop my ice cream.
Little stick.
It's Mahl, M-A-H-L.
I heard muddle.
Oh, yeah, that's what I heard as well.
No, M-A-H-L.
Well, because I was listening to how vegan.
Yep, right.
M-A-H.
So I assume that's the name. That's why it's the person's name or something then.
Mm.
But
Alright. Different brushes that I want right now. Those two should do. Now my mind is thinking about some of the other things that I meant to talk about, which is one of the things I generally try to do is keep. I try to use like two similar brushes for a lot of things. One that has a light color on it, one that has a dark color on it. That way I don't have to wipe it off between colors. Because I don't clean my brushes until I'm like literally done painting for the day. And so yeah, I have like 2 of every brush for the most part. And then
What do you do for medium colors?
I will sometimes have a 3rd brush with the medium color, or I'll use both of those for the medium and then move them back to one end of the spectrum. But like, for example, it'd be really easy to clean this one off and then use a light brown and clean this one off and use a dark brown, rather than like, because they're still like light and dark, rather than try to switch entirely.
Interesting. So on Malstick, the
Yeah.
word derives from the German and Dutch Malstock, or Mal with 2 A's, stock, stick, from melon to paint.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's a painter stick,
Nice. I like it.
or a paint stick.
All right, well, I'm going to use my paint stick today. That is not what I was expecting. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
It's according to Wikipedia, anyway.
I
It probably comes across.
I frequently
better
believe
if you're
Wikipedia.
reading it than my attempting to mispronounce the foreign words and spellings.
Yeah, whatever. Stop turning off, monitor.
Or another artist friend of mine. This is somebody I know I know from back in high school. He's doing a pumpkin carving demo on Zoom.
Ha! All right.
Next couple of hours. Yeah, carving pumpkins is a medium he discovered or got really interested in a few years back.
My
Does some really amazing carvings.
yeah, my stepsister-in-law is also amazing with pumpkin carving.
I mean, he's not making jack-o'-lanterns. He's carving statues essentially. Out of
Oh,
pumpkins.
okay.
Let's see. I can download and then re-upload this photo so you can see the sort of work he does.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
Said he's not carving jack-o'-lanterns.
Right.
He's using pumpkins, and actually, I guess this is probably a gourd of some other sort, at the medium that he carved. more batteries. I keep buying Lego kits that take batteries and out.
I mean, I keep a ton of batteries around the house just because of my like glowing dresses and needing them pretty regularly.
Buy them in the largest package they come in, but a single Lego model will sometimes use like a dozen triple A's or something like that.
Oh wow, okay.
Especially if there's a remote with it, because the remote will use one set of the batteries and the other thing will use the other set of batteries.
Okay.
We'll use at least 4. Very many kits that use, 8 to 12 batteries to supply.
Like every time I turn my head towards my monitor to look at my reference photos, I see out of the corner of my eye my feed, and it seems like the lighting, it's like compensating the white balance or something every time I turn my head.
I'm seeing that. You hear that?
Hear what?
What's going on? Oh, there, you're back now. Be not.
I can hear bits and pieces coming out of Mark sometimes.
That's about what I'm getting from you.
Oh, okay. Bdan, what do you hear? Nope, we lost Bdan then. It's just, we've just half Sarah and half Mark.
No, I'm here. I was just muted while I was. I can hear both of you.
Oh, interesting. All right. Huh. That's entertaining.
In case you lost track of the time, it's just about 4 o'clock now. I know you said you had.
Oh, is it already? Damn. All right, cool. I will wrap this up then. I don't actually have to leave at 4 sharp. I think I can leave the house at about 4:30, but I mean, yeah, I could even keep painting for a little bit longer. Question is, am I at a good stopping point? I'm getting there. I can also keep working tonight when I get back. I don't think I'm doing any. I don't think I have any plans tonight except for the dance party tonight.
I'm not going to make it to that.
Aw.
Getting to sleep early, shall we say?
Yeah.
Early. I was awake. Actually, what time did I wake up today?
I didn't end up having to get up until 7:40 today, but I've been getting up at 6:15, and then sometimes going back to bed. So I have to get my shots when Steven gets up in the morning.
Yeah. Awake well before 6 a.m., so.
That's too early. Alright, let's see if I can bang out these sleeves before I call it a day then. That shouldn't be too hard.
Well, I think I'm gonna drop off.
Cool. Thank you for joining. Maybe if you want a Discord feed while you're building a Lego kit someday, let me know.
I probably will test the build of the piano, actually, which hopefully will be Saturday.
Cool. Alright, I'll catch you later. I don't know if you need to
How
go,
to get
Bdan.
out of here.
How do you get out of here? There's a I think a red Oh no, there's a telephone receiver with an X over it.
Yeah, at least on mobile.
I get out of
Yes,
out of the
you're on
voice,
mobile Sarah, so.
Yeah, there's a telephone thing with an X over it.
out of the voice chat channel, but there's more things to get out of than just that.
Okay.
Anyway, take care.
See ya.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to go, be Dan, or if you want to stick around.
No.
Cool.
I can stick around.
Yay! I figured it would be nice if I could just get a little bit more paint on here.
Uh-huh. You have to get to the point of, like, having painted something everywhere.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I still haven't entirely figured out what I want to do with her hair. I'm thinking of giving her like a scarf. I'll just maximize the amount of fabric I have in one painting. So I was thinking of giving her a headscarf of some sort.
Uh-huh.
That of course means I'll need to shoot some reference. I've got a couple of other pieces I'm working on for the card game, and I think like I'm just sort of haven't decided how I want to go in terms of pose, and instead of thumbnailing, I'm thinking of just having Steven just do random poses and just see what kind of comes out of it, and then thumbnail from there after I have some like inspiration ideas. It worked out really well. There was one that I had him pose for, and I had an idea of where I wanted it to go, and I had like sketches and everything about the poses that I wanted him to do. And then he was like, "I don't think that pose makes sense. What about this one?" And then the pose that he ended up doing ended up making a lot more sense and working a lot better. And it wasn't part of my thumbnails, but I ended up really liking it, so I ended up going that way. Oh, Steven's gonna be running late. Okay. Alright, so I'm definitely not gonna try to... I was originally thinking, oh, I'll just make sure that I arrive early anyway, you know, because I'm like that. But now I will not try to arrive early. I will just arrive when I arrive, and he will be running late, and that's fine.
That gives you more time to finish up here then.
Yeah. My phone will beep at me, I think, around 4:30 or 4:20 anyway, so I'll just start to tie things up then. Or whenever I get these sleeves done. You know. What do you think? Will you join me if I do this again sometime?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, other side. Yep, Manamana is still stuck in my head. Thank you.
Let's put it out in the open, so you know.
Yep. Yeah. That way it's stuck in everybody else's head who's listening to us right now.
Right, exactly.
Yep. You're all welcome. All right, let's see. Get in there. I am so stumped at that Baba is you level though.
Wait, which one?
The one we ended at last night.
Right, no, I'm trying to remember which one.
The two robots.
You cut out there.
Oh, sorry, my alarm started going off to remind me to bring my coffee, or bring Steven's coffee to him tonight. The one with the two robots, and then the flag is on the other side.
Oh, yes, right,
Yeah.
that one.
I am so stumped there. Like, I just kept thinking about it. I can't figure it out. I'm not asking for a hint yet, but
Yeah.
I might end up needing one for that one. I don't like the way this sleeve is turning out, but it doesn't actually matter because I just have the shapes down for it now, and I'll come back and fix it later. I just needed it to get kind of blocked in a little bit. It's something, it's fine. Alright, I'm just going to tidy up some of my edges and then call it done for now.
Yeah, paint on nearly all of it.
Right. Well, now it's like there's the little pieces where like the skirt kind of met up with where the shawl was, and it's like, yeah, I just want to make sure that the paint is kind of blended there, and I'll differentiate the edges later. 'Cause otherwise, I'm going in like, you know. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video, even though there's nobody else watching it right now except me and B-Dan. I'm going to do a thing at the very end of this video here. Let's see. All right, so if we switch, how do I switch to the other camera? All right. Sorry about the glare there, but here's what we ended at today. And if you guys liked this, you should let me know. If you have questions, you should let me know. And if you want me to do more of these, you should let me know. All right. Goodbye, everybody.